Artwork, critiques, Photoshop files, and reference sheets are all available on my Patreon.
So, Ghost asks a great question. How do you get clean lines without using third-party software? So that's a good one. Basically, imagine you've just done a sketch of your piece. You've got all of the basics mapped out just like this. You're ready to put down a semi-transparent white layer, and you want to have a whole load of clean, crisp line work going on without downloading something else that's going to automatically fill in how that works. Well, the first thing actually is work on a nice big canvas. I'm working on A3 sized canvas with 300 dots per inch, 300 dpi, and that allows me to zoom in a fair bit, and all of these lines still take on this crisp edge even when we get nice and close. The second thing is going to be the brush. I want to have a brush which is a solid color, and really the pressure that I apply affects the size of the brush, but not the opacity. No matter what we do, it's always going to be dark and black. I'm currently using the DGA main, and basically you can download my brush pack for free. There's a link, of course, in the description below. And you want to be working with a load of flow. That's really the key to it. Don't sit there drawing a really slow line, trying to get it perfect, because Photoshop's going to pick up all of your jiggles and all of your kind of mistakes. You want to have sweeping, flowing lines that really work through things. So I'll give you a really quick example of what that's about. If we zoom in here, I haven't quite done the shoulder armor for this character. So I'm just going to start some lines that really flow the way all the way around. I'm going to drop my brush size very, very small. That also makes things look very crisp and very clean. And the key to kind of making this work out is also the reason why I tend to have hundreds and hundreds of layers in my artwork, because to get a line stroke in, I'm going to go onto a fresh new layer firstly. And a bit like in martial arts where you don't punch the surface of a target, you strike through a target, all of my lines are going to flow through where they need to be. So I might want a line that starts here and is going to go all the way around and stop about here. But I'm actually going to draw a line that starts before and finishes afterwards, so that none of the stopping and starting motion or jiggles gets caught in the line or the finish line product that I want. And because I'm on a new layer, I'm thinking about that flow. I'm working loosely from my arm and my shoulder, not just my wrist. I get to think about the shape and the flow of the curve without worrying about the position. So get that flow, sweep all the way around. Maybe I like one of these lines as we go over. And if I come to something that's about here, because I've got this on its own layer, it means that I can worry about the positioning separately. So now I can actually just move this line around a little bit. I can start to rotate it, just like so. And I can even use the warp tool to kind of nudge a few things. But because I don't have to worry about the line being positioned perfectly, it means I can really focus on the flow, the smoothness, and the shape, move it later. Because I've also got this on its own layer, it means now that I can kind of erase the edges of the line. That eraser's a little bit soft. Let's go in for something firmer. I can erase the edges of a line right up to the start and the stop point without worrying about erasing any other lines on the layer. I can obviously just remove a few bits if there's going to be other shapes going in, and I'm just using this as a guide. And then when I'm actually happy with where that line is and just deleting a few other bits, then I can actually go ahead and merge that. So over here, I've got a whole load of other lines right here. I've been working on all of these bad boys separately, and if we open up this group, you can see it's a crazy amount of separate layers. But when I'm actually done, I can go ahead and I can just right click and I can merge this group. All of that line art is now on one layer. So it's not quite a crazy figure as you might think, but really it frees you up to do all of these lines, get them down as crisply and as smoothly as possible, and end up with something that looks nice and sharp. So that is basically it, guys. That's how I work my way through to get some nice, clean and crisp line art when I'm working in the clean anime style. I hope that makes a little bit sense for you and at least gives you a bit of a guide in the right direction. It's just getting used to it, just loosening up. And of course, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Click this video because YouTube is, of course, a heartless numbers machine. And if you'd like to get access to my full tutorials work pack, you can do that on Patreon for just $1, which is kind of what supports me and allows me to make all of this content for free. So guys, have yourselves a bloody lovely week and take care.